Dave with Half Dozen Customs. We recently got this motor pulled out of the Jeep. I got it all pressure washed and cleaned up, as you guys have probably seen in other videos. Got it on an engine stand, and I'm getting ready to paint it and make everything look pretty. I'm going to start with, we're going to do the intake first. I want the intake to stay silver. This intake's really clean and really nice shape, but around the radiator area, it's kind of grungy and I would say kind of rusty looking. Out here where we're at, a lot of people out here are on well water. This motor came from right down the street, so you know, chances are I had well water in there, leaked over time, whatever, stained the intake. So I'm just going to blow a quick coat, maybe two, over the intake, just to kind of brighten it back up, bring it back to life. One of the things that has bothered me is somebody made a EGR block-off plate on the side of the intake, and I just don't like that it you know, looks like somebody made it. So I'm gonna hit it over on my belt sander over there and just kind of clean up the edges, round them off, and maybe try and make it look like it's not just a block of aluminum bolted to the side. If I still don't like it after that, I'll just actually order a block off plate, and we'll just install that. But for now, I'm going to put this on. I want to paint it with the intake, so I'm going to get it cleaned up first, and we'll see how it turns out, how it looks. Like I said, maybe before I install it in the car, I'll actually buy a block off plate for it, unless this one looks okay. Okay, I think that looks a lot better. All the edges are nice and clean and sanded and no longer look like they were cut with the Sawzall. And I rounded all the edges. So I think that looks much better. I'm much happier with that. Yeah, that looks like that belongs there now instead of just a random scrap piece of metal. Much happier. Okay, let's see. I need to pop off this upper radiator hose. I want to paint the thermostat housing with the intake. And then a couple things I'm going to tape off. I'm going to tape off this copper fitting here for the temperature sensor. I'm going to tape off the carburetor riser. We are going to unbolt this throttle cable linkage setup. I'll end up sandblasting that, repainting that. I'm going to pull the distributor. We're going to mark I'll mark the plug wires real quick. I'll do that right now. So it's almost lunchtime here, but I want to get this intake painted so I can sit in here and dry. When I come back out, I'll tape off the intake and we're going to paint the block. Pull these headers off. I said yesterday, I'm gonna sandblast and paint these headers, but they were out of paint at the paint store, the fireproof paint, so I'm just gonna order some and have it delivered. Those can get done later. I'm actually probably gonna order some exhaust wrap, and I'm gonna wrap these headers before I put it in. I like the way it looks. And then when the headers cook and bake and start roasting again, you don't see it because it's wrapped. I'm not going to do it right now because that stuff is super expensive. Could unbolt all this stuff so I don't have to tape it off, but I'd still have to tape off the top of the intake. And I really don't feel like they have everything all, gaskets sealed and all that stuff, and I don't feel like taking that apart and cleaning it and redoing it and trying to find any leaks after the motor's in the car. Which, who knows, it could leak as it is, and I'll have to redo it later anyways, but I'll deal with that if that time comes. I know it was a running, driving motor before I pulled it, so trying to leave as much of it alone as possible. So I'm not getting real crazy with this because I don't care if a little silver gets on the black, because I haven't painted the block yet. When I paint the block, I'll make sure the intake takes off nice and clean, and whatever overspray gets onto the block right now will get covered when I spray it black, but I want to try and keep it off of the pulleys, pumps, my new engine stand. So a couple pieces of tape and paper. It's a lot easier to put on than it is to try and take overspray off. So I just got some pre-cleaner on this rag. A couple of spots that didn't get hit with the pressure washer. I'm gonna hit them with. I'm gonna hit this thing just briefly, really quick with wire wheel, especially like around the thermostat area. That was another reason why I taped everything off, so that I don't have stuff flying into the inside of the head. A nice shine. Probably wouldn't look bad if I did the whole thing like that. But I know the wife, she wants all black. She wasn't even really super excited about me doing the intake silver, but I'd rather see a little bit of color under the hood instead of just all blacked out. So I got it's aluminum engine with ceramic coating from Dupli-Color, like 13 bucks a can. And I went with aluminum because I'm hoping that it's just going to look like a stock intake. I just want it to look like it's new. I'm not trying to make it look like it's painted or anything like that. I just want it to kind of freshen it up and make it look new again. So fingers crossed, this gives me what I'm looking for. Yep, this looks new. That's what I wanted. Tell the areas that I hit with the wire wheel, it doesn't even look like it changed the color any, which is what I wanted. The only thing that's going to really change the look is up here around that thermostat. I'm okay with it being silver. I may when I go to actually put this in the car, I'll probably pull that, put new thermostat in there just in case, and I'll probably just put a new housing on there. Probably just a black one. Unless I can get some kind of polished aluminum or I don't want chrome in there, that's for sure. So, okay. So that's it. You know, just looks like a new edelbrock intake, as if I was to just order a new one and it would have been delivered to my door. That's what it looked like. That's what it would have looked like, and that's what I was going for. So now I'll let this set up a little bit. I'll blow another coat on it, eat some lunch, let this dry, and then I'll come back out. We'll tape off the intake and we'll get the block ready to go. Back out here again on this motor. Gave it, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours for it to dry. I only put 2 coats on it. There were 2 lighter coats. That's all it really took. It was pretty clean. So now I'll unmask it, and I'm gonna mask off the intake itself, and we'll get the block cleaned up and get that sprayed. route with this. I don't know if it's because of the humidity or what, but it doesn't seem to be dry enough to tape on yet. So, and I'm impatient. Could probably just go pull some valve covers off of one of my other motors and put those on here instead of taking this off. Look at that, a valve cover. Okay, got those taped off. Let's we can do about taking these headers off. The one I've had off came off really easy. Let's hope the other side does the same. Never just be easy. I'm not gonna take off that intake. It's always something they tell you. I'll end up putting the plugs in there, but I feel like taking them out. So take them out, then I gotta plug up the hole. What do we got here? Nope. Yes. sandblast and repaint this bracket. Just for now. I'm not going to do it right this very minute, but just for now, I'm going to do it. But I forget what company it was that I was looking at. I think Jegs sells them, but it's a whole lower, keeps everything lower off of the heads since there is no accessory holes on the heads. So it keeps everything down low, and it changes where this alternator is over to a power steering pump and puts the alternator over here. So that's what I'm looking at, and they're cheap. They're only like 89 bucks. So that belt feels like it's seen better days. That belt is crunchy. Crunchy, crunchy. This bracket, it's a homemade bracket. I mean, I guess it served its purpose, but it is definitely not what I want to use. Pump feels good. Okay, I shall return. Okay, back after a little break with the wife. Continue on with ready for some paint. Oh. By the time I'm done with this motor, it's going to run a lot better, because you don't know how many things I've came across that were just hand tight. Headers being one of them. A bunch of vacuum lines that were just hand tight, threaded in. The rotor and the distributor wasn't even screwed down. It was just sitting in there bouncing around. two that were somewhat tight over here were the two that you could only get a wrench on. Other side they were loose, but I think that those would have been the loose ones, and the ones that you could get a socket on would be the tight ones. But before it goes in the car, I'm going to replace the oil pan gasket because it is leaking. So when I pull this, I'll either put a new oil pan on here or we'll sandblast this one and prime it and paint it. You know, maybe not base coat, clear coat with rattle can, but at least make it look nicer. It is starting to get some rust here and there, so that's why I would like to sandblast it. But for right now, I'm gonna scuff it, clean it, and shoot it. And it is what it is. I know I'm gonna be putting a new gasket on there, so I know it'll be off again. Holes on spare wheel and clean it up. Got her wire wheeled up. I'm gonna blow it off. We're gonna soak it down with some pre-cleaner, wipe it all down. I think it's other than sending the block out and having it gone through and boiled or hot tanked, you don't get much better than that. I've seen people do less. Okay. I'm just basically trying to protect my new engine stand. And it should keep the flywheel. It's a new flywheel on there. It keeps paint off the flywheel as well. Got a couple pieces of computer paper, and I am going to try to very carefully, without getting it all over the intake, get in there and get the top edges of the heads. Same thing as the silver, it's just Dupli-Color engine paint. It's high temperature, resistant to oil fluids, ideal for engine blocks and accessories, up to 500 degrees. Okay, that works good. Except for, I just painted my ring and everything. Definitely need to put some rubber gloves on. Lacquer thinner is off my hand before this glove on. Oh man. The trigger spray in the wrong direction. Bastard. Glove or something. Damn it, why does he keep doing that? Keeps getting underneath the paper. I got three, four. I topped to touch the bolt, or I touched the top of the bolt with my glove that had paint on it, so I gotta hit him real quick. And then I got 3 small spots where it looks like it bled through the paper or got up underneath the paper because I sprayed it way too wet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my acid brushes and I'm gonna spray it with the aluminum paint, and we'll just dab those spots. Other than that, I think it looks good. We left off the other day with painting the block on the motor. Yesterday I sandblasted all the alternator brackets and the throttle cable bracket. Now, the throttle cable bracket may get used. This stuff will not get used. This is for alternator only setup. Monte Carlo is going to have power steering on it, so we got to get a different bracket system. But for the meantime, while it's sitting here in the shop, I'd rather just bolt stuff back on instead of, leaving it laying around the shop or on a shelf or something. I'd rather have it bolted back on the engine, and I'd rather not bolt rusty, busted looking stuff onto the motor. So I sandblasted them real quick, threw a paint job on them. So those are ready to go back on. I did that yesterday. This morning, I cleaned up the carburetor, gave her a good scrubbing. I don't know if you guys remember what that looked like, but it was pretty rough looking. So I pretty much got the whole motor put back together off camera. So it looks awesome. I just didn't video it. Hope you guys liked the turnout of it. Everything came out nice and clean. It looks good. I went through just, temporarily. I did the zip tie trick for the spark plug wires, just kind of keep them clean and out of the way. If you guys remember what this motor looked like before, the spark plug wires were just hanging wherever they hung. So, got the chrome guys back on the front, got the chrome fuel pump all cleaned up, got the Jegs starter back on, valve covers are back on, got the edelbrock little valve cover breather guy back on, put the CV valve, right? I think that's what it's called. For some odd reason I'm brain farting. PCV valve, that's it, PCV valve. Put that back in, put the distributor back in, lock that down. So got everything all basically cleaned up. So today what I have left on it is to bolt the carburetor down. I'm gonna try and find some new bolts for it so we don't put new rusty or the old rusty stuff back on. I found all new bolts and everything for the valve covers, so none of that is rusty and junky looking. Yesterday I cut down the air cleaner threaded rod that comes from the carburetor up. They had it was, probably 2 inches too long, stuck way up here above the air cleaner. So I cut that down to where there's only like maybe, 3/8 of an inch sticking up. I found a new wing nut for that so we don't have the old rusty crusty stuff on there. So we're gonna put the carburetor back on. I still got to clean the bottom of the air cleaner. It's a chrome unit and it's all rusty and junky looking. So I'm just gonna hit that with some steel wool and some glass cleaner and clean it up. Like I said, this stuff will not stay on this motor when it goes in Monte Carlo. It's going all black. So actually I was looking last night what we want to get for it, which we've been looking at for a while now, was they're the black edelbrock valve covers with aluminum topped fins on it that says edelbrock, and we're going to get the matching air cleaner for it. And I actually found they have a black, all black with the aluminum fin top on it that matches the valve covers, a bug catcher scoop. So we may put that on there. I don't know, it's like $200 difference, so we'll see what comes up of it. I know I had the carburetor sitting on it last night just to see what it looked like all put together. I never realized how high that air cleaner actually sits. This intake, you can tell it's kind of got a slope to it. I think it's a raised intake, and then they got this 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch, 1 inch, whatever plate on the top. It really lifts it up high. The wife does not want any holes cut in her hood, so we'll have to see with the bug catcher or the air cleaner or what clears. I may have to lose this intake rise here to make sure that everything clears the hood. We'll see once it's in the car. I don't know. Sitting on the engine stand, it looks pretty tall, but once you get it into the car, you know, it could be a whole different story. But we'll see. That's, you know, that's a ways away. If I had to guess, you know, it'll probably be a year before I'm even putting this motor in the car. It could be sooner, who knows? But I know I gotta finish the floor in there, then we gotta pull the dashboard out, we gotta put a custom dashboard in, whether I'm putting something old in or we're gonna make something. We have some ideas of what we want to do if we're gonna make one. And then once that's done, then I gotta pull the old motor out. We gotta clean up the engine compartment. I'm shaving everything on the firewall, getting rid of the heater core and all that stuff. And we gotta get that all painted. Then I can get the motor put in. So there's a lot of work to do before I even consider putting this motor in. So we'll see. You know, I don't want to bite off more than I can chew and say, hey, it's, you know, we're going to be putting this motor in 2 months. You know, I really don't see that being the case. I have, you know, I have that Jeep that's going on, which is the most important thing that's in the shop at the moment. So that's got to get done first before I can even make plans to start getting all crazy on the Monte. I was trying to do, you know, a day or two on the Monte every week. And this summer's just been so busy that I really haven't had time to do that. So hopefully soon I can start getting back on it, but oh, my back is killing me. Yesterday, I was fine yesterday, working out here in the shop, and I went in and I sat down by the computer. The wife was working on a video to post, and I sat there with her for about 15 minutes, and then when I went to get up, my back was out, so usually when my back goes out is when I'm doing absolutely nothing. I know I got bolts here for this carburetor somewhere. Oh, I'm just digging through. Just going through these trays looking at I got drawers and drawers of new bolts and new wing nuts, and that's how I was able to replace most of the stuff that with rusty, you know, get rid of the rusty crusty stuff. So I gotta have something here for carburetor. I think we found them. Leave that drawer open a little bit. I don't know if those are it. Just remember where it's at. Threaded on, but they didn't. I don't know if that's just because of the new paint on there. Should have both metric and standard, so we should be able to find something here. Maybe not. Let's see, what do we got in here? These I know are standard thread, and they definitely do not screw on. So, oh man, my back is killing me. Okay, so it's not standard. Definitely metric. Now, let me see if I can find a metric bolt. These fit on. Okay. Alright, maybe I don't have anything. Poopers. Let's see. Can I clean them up so they don't look so bad? Okay, I think that'll work. Looks a little better, I guess. Good enough, I suppose. Let's see. Can I find some decent washers now? Okay. Oh, I stood up here. I'll be getting all new rubber lines before GoKart, and make sure that there's no vacuum leaks or anything, but I felt that hose was a little long, so I trimmed her down. Okay, let's get this. Throttle linkage back on. Weird, it just doesn't seem like it fits right. But who knows what this came off of. It may not have been off of this vehicle originally. Because I know that the throttle cables I took off, they were just kind of in there. They didn't really clip into anything like this. Should have. this huge line wrapped all the way around. I cut it down, I wasn't happy with it. That this line that they had here, they had it, instead of bending it and looping it under this bracket, they ran it out the back, and then they had this huge long PVC line that came around to that. And of course when I put it on, I was like, why is this hose so long? Because I didn't have it routed the same way that they did originally, but I like this better. There's been quite a few things on here that I have cleaned up and rerouted the way that they had it, just so that it looks cleaner. Like, I was gonna put the fuel line back on that goes up to the carburetor from the fuel pump, and they have it sticking out like 8 inches, and then it comes up and then goes over to here on the carburetor, and it's this huge monstrosity. And I think, you know, when I put it in the car, I'll actually bend it down, run it back along the frame, come up around the firewall, and come up underneath the intake, below the intake in the carburetor to right here, so that it's all wrapped around the back and hidden and unseen, instead of having this huge monstrosity up out the front. So I like everything to be clean, and yeah, some of this stuff on here was just not very clean, so is what it is. Okay. Now, let's get this bad boy cleaned up. Just some triple aught steel wool, 000. Glass cleaner. Some people use Coca-Cola and tin foil. I guess that works as well. I've always just used this. Always use this because it's always been in the shop, because little triple aught steel wool, some Comet, and some glass cleaner. Cleans overspray off of windows. So it's always been in body shops. So that's why I've always used it. Now, if I was planning on keeping this in the car, I probably would have painted it, you know, probably blue to match with the top cover. Maybe, you know, split it in half, do the front half blue, the back half white. You're never gonna see it, so I wouldn't put the flag underneath there, but you know, at least it would have matched a little better than just chrome. But like I said, I'm not planning on doing anything but hanging this on the wall, so this is okay with me to just clean this up. It's the same thing I did to the front pulleys, which those aren't stained either. We will go with like a black anodized pulley or a billet aluminum pulley. Okay, so camera died while I was cleaning this guy up. I didn't do anything that you guys didn't see prior to the camera shutting off. You know, just steel wool and some glass cleaner. It cleaned up pretty good. There is still some rusty spots, some pitting. The chrome is gone, where you see all that. The chrome actually flaked off, and that's the bare metal underneath that's rusty. I'm sure I could have continued to scrub this until all the rust was gone and the metal was clean, but then you still have unprotected metal there. It's just going to come right back. So again, this isn't staying on the car, so it's good enough for what I'm trying to do, which is just look cool in the corner with my Dunks hat on. I said you don't even see it, it's on the bottom anyways. Main reason that I did it is because you can see it around the edge here, and that's what I wanted to get clean. Get our nice new shiny wing nut. Now, I didn't even wet sand or buff any of this stuff after I was done painting it, so you know, if I was to go through and wet sand and buff it, all the tape lines would be gone. You know, you can kind of see the shrinkage like around the stars and whatnot. A couple of dirt nibs in it. Not bad overall, it came out pretty good. But like I said, if this was staying on the car, I would wet sand and buff it. And you know, like I said, this is just going to sit in the corner for now. When we get the new stuff in, I'll hang it on the wall. And shall in the future I ever do decide to put this stuff on a vehicle, because it is pretty cool, so it may one day go on a vehicle, just not this one. I'll just scuff them up and re-clear them, and then I'll wet sand and buff it, because once this clear sits for so long, it becomes freaking rock hard, and it's super hard to wet sand and buff. I could wet sand and buff it, you know, 2 years down the road, but instead of going through the aggravation of trying to wet sand and buff rock hard clear, I would just scuff it, re-clear it, then wet sand and buff it, and then we'll be good to go. So, but that's, you know, who knows, one day I'll put, chances are they'll go on something, just not this one. So, let's get the alternator put back on, and that's the last of it, and then it goes in the corner. Now this alternator, like I said, I will not be using this because it does not hit. Where this puts the alternator is actually where the power steering pump goes. This motor came out of a vehicle that didn't have any power steering. So I'll be getting new brackets set up for it. But this stuff, when they had it bolted in, this was what they had set up in it. Stacks of washers, a bolt for washer, you know, so I'm hopefully, I can go through my trays of goodies over there and find the proper size bolts so that I don't have to use all those washers and a nut as spacers. So let's see what we can find here. I'm gonna untape this. I sandblasted this stuff before I painted it. This is just rattle cans 2-in-1. But there's this little chrome piece to it. I cleaned it up with the steel wool, taped it off. I painted this stuff last night and it does not seem like it's dry. I only put 3 coats on. It's not like I put a lot, but it has just been so humid out here lately, and that is just horrible for drying paint. Keeps it from drying. Try and get this all put together without leaving a whole bunch of fingerprints in it. If I can get it off. And I gotta try and remember how they had this put together, along with finding new bolts. It's a good thing I took pictures. Well, let's look at some pictures and see how this was put together. I know I have one bolt that'll work for sure. And I got a couple that are a little on the shorter side. I'm sure I have these bolts, but I have a truck sitting outside the shop here that has a cap on it, and I'm currently using it for storage. And I have the good old 5-gallon bucket in the back that is just full of nuts and bolts and clips, and but I'm not going to dig that out of the truck, especially with my back hurting. This guy comes up to the header there. This guy hangs down low. Broken bolts don't scare me. I will clean it up, and we'll try and weld the bolt to it before it goes into Monte Carlo. And then we'll try and weld a bolt to it or nut to it and see if that helps get it out. And now I'll drill it and try and easy out it. Worst case scenario, I'll drill it and tap it. Rolling around this cement, putting scratches in it. Bottom stud is metric, top one is standard. Definitely got a bunch of mixed match stuff up here. We'll be happy to replace this whole setup when the time comes. Because it is janky. So, because of that broken bolt, that's why they have all this extra bracket stuff going on here. Now I understand why they were doing weird stuff here. Not clean up the alternator. I don't think I'm gonna. I think when the time comes, I'll just put a new one on it. Monte Carlo's gonna have a stereo system in it anyway, so the wife was already talking about she wanted a high amperage alternator in there, so. One of these super long guys. Alright, I gotta keep searching. Space it out just right. It won't look as horrible as how they had it. Let's see, I may have a new one for that. It's taking too long. Oh man, where am I? Better than their janky setup that they had with a bazillion washers. And I still use, I still use 5 washers, but I put 2 at the front and 3 at the back instead of having them all stacked on one side like they had it. And then I got a nice new bolt for it that actually had a built-on washer that gave it a little extra. So, but that's what they had before, and they had it all on one side. So much cleaner for something that I won't use. So, only thing that I have really left to do with this whole setup is I gotta, now that the engine sand is free, I gotta lift up the transmission, pressure wash underneath it. I got the paint for the transmission. And then I have paint for the headers, which I got sandblast the headers, and then we're gonna repaint them. And then I got exhaust wrap coming, gold, titanium, pewter, whatever you want to call it, exhaust wrap, and I'll wrap them up real nice so that they look sharp, and those will actually be going in the car like that. So. But I think that stuff will come at maybe a later date. I'm going to get back to work on other stuff now. I got some stuff on the Jeep that's here that I gotta get to work on. And then, hopefully one day here soon I'll be able to maybe spend a few hours getting the patch panel for the floor ready to go in and possibly get it in. That would be cool. I'd like to get back to work on that. And this is for that car, so, this past week that I spent building this thing, cleaning it up, a Craigslist rebuild, I guess you could say. Cleaning it up, making it look nice, it's for that Monte Carlo. So, even though some of it won't get used, it looks pretty. Hope you guys enjoyed the remake of this grungy old motor that I pulled out of the Jeep. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Remember, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Have a good day.